Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM19 story, part of The Furniture with me, Daniel. It's Season 6, Episode 3, and for the second day in a row, across two series with two different lower league teams, we're playing Tottenham in the third round of the Carabao Cup. Obviously yesterday we played that game with Barnsley. It just happened to be the symmetry of the two saves. We got exactly the same cup draw in both series. The chances were obviously tiny, but it's gone and happened, and we've got a chance to compare our two sides between two series, and most importantly for us with Torquay here, it's by far the biggest game of the series so far. In the one club series we've become very attached to the club, and we want to show just how far we've come and just how much potential we've still got as we play an elite Premier League side at home for the first time. The biggest team we played before was Villa, who were 10th in the Premier League at the time, and Spurs are 4th. They've been flying well in this series as well. If we look at what they've won since the series started, they've already got a Europa League and a European Super Cup under their belt. They've been in an FA Cup final, finished third in the Premier League twice. They're a really good side still. They were runners-up in this competition last season, so we've certainly got plenty of work to do if we want to compete well today. But before we do that, let's go back and look at the league table. We're sitting in 7th place at the moment. We've still got a game in hand on most sides, although it is against a promotion rival in Shrewsbury. That's just where we lost out during the international break. If we win that, we could be within 1 point of the top after a really good spell so far this season, which has culminated with us beating 2nd place Lincoln in the last game. We'll look at those results in a minute, but before that we've got a couple of signings to talk about. We obviously left it at the end of the last episode, not knowing which number 10 we'd sign. We got George Moncur in the end out of the two. He was the best available option for us. 2.5-star ability, natural in attacking midfield and central midfield. Hasn't made an appearance for us yet as he was just coming back from injury, but I've no doubt he'll do well for us over the course of the season. A decent player and not on a huge wage either. We also then signed the youngster Ronan Darcy. We mentioned that we were getting him in on trial because he had brilliant physical attributes, and it turned out he was just quite good across the board. So he's also 2.5-star ability with 3.5 potential. He's not the best trainer, so we've got him in a mentoring group working on his training, working on his personality and his player traits, and hopefully he'll do quite well for us in the future. If his training goes well and he does develop off the pitch, we'll try and send him out on loan in the second half of the season. But he's already played quite a lot of games in his career, including for Bolton in the Championship and League One, so I think he's got a good future ahead of him as long as he trains himself well. The other one we didn't mention on that screen, if we just go back, is we did find a loan for Conor McKendry. He's gone to National League side Wrexham. He's gone for the year for £1,500 a week. A really good signing for them. You've got to bear in mind, he had a full season in League 2 and League 1 in the last 2 years. So he's done really well at those levels, and he's now going down to the National League. So I've no doubt we'll be helping another side to promotion this season. And we've got Connor Courts and Ben Lovell, the two young defenders. They're at Cambridge in that division as well. So we've really got a lot of talent down there, and hopefully they'll all perform well and be competing in a title race at the end of the season. But we want to focus on the results since the last episode. There's only been the 3 since we lost our only defeat of the season at Wigan. That game Johnny Byrne let us down with the red card, you may remember. Since then it's been 3 wins on the bounce, one of them luckily on penalties. We won 1-0 at Doncaster in the league, Armando Broja with a late goal. He came off the bench as a super sub, but we dominated the game before that in truth. Against Spurs in the Checkatrade Trophy we were 2-0 down, Simiyu scored from a set piece, and then Owen Jack equalised late on. We got our 2nd point by winning on penalties for the 2nd time this year, scoring all 5. And for those of you that have been following the last few years, you'll be very surprised to see that Owen Jack scored his penalty as well. Ronan Darcy scored in that one from the spot, as did Lewis Richards and Weir, so a really good sign for some of the youngsters there. In the last game we won 2-0 at home to Lincoln. Rowan McDonald got a late red card for a 2nd yellow. That was the only disappointment as he'll miss out today. But Chapman scored after an own goal from Yandanda, who we almost signed during the summer, which means that we go back into the promotion race looking in good shape after 9 or 10 games. And last of the 3, if we go to our training, just so I can show you some of the mentoring groups, we're doing really okay on here now. We've got 2 little groups going at the moment. Broder and Byrne, the fairly professional and influential players, they're working with youngsters McCabe and Simiu defensively, and then in midfield we've got the likes of Rowan McDonald, Butcher and List, all fairly professional, working alongside Weir, Richards and Darcy, the youngsters, so hopefully they'll learn a lot from them. We've also amended all of the individual training to make sure that as many people as possible are working on a specific role or a specific focus of attributes. Hopefully that will pay dividends as the season goes on. Our upgrades to facilities for both training and youth facilities is almost complete, so in a month and a half's time we'll have a better workplace for these lads to develop to. We've maxed out our coaching staff again, just one scout to go to reach our potential, so we're doing a really good job off the pitch and we're still very secure for our job security. And last but not least, let's have a look at dynamics. Why not? I haven't looked yet this season. We're still doing a really good job across the board. Clark's unhappy, but he's not back from injury yet. Davis has started to play a few games because of Byrne's suspension. Our top influencers at the club, Byrne and Bass are right up there as you'd expect. We've got the likes of Owen, Jack and McDonald just behind. Davis and Facey are up there too, so we probably need to watch that with Aaron Davis. I'm quite surprised that the likes of Reece Williams and even Armando Broder and Butcher to an extent are only in that influential players bracket, and a few of these youngsters that have been here a while still stuck in other players, the likes of McCabe, McComb, Richards and Weir. They just can't develop and become more of a force in the changing room, but hopefully that will all work as they go into their mentoring groups and develop alongside those key players at the club. So let's get into the game against Tottenham. As you'd probably expect, we're absolutely massive underdogs. We've got two players suspended in Byrne and McDonald. Thomas Tuchel, the Tottenham manager, has been having a right go at us in the build-up to the match, so hopefully we can get one over on him. You can see up the top right here, he stormed out of a press conference as well. We've got a sellout as you might expect, and it shows why if we get promoted, we'll definitely need a new ground. If we go and have a look at the lineup, we've had to rotate quite heavily, largely due to tired legs and the fact we've got another two games coming up on Saturday and Tuesday. A few of the players just didn't make the game. Simiu's knackered after his weekend outing. He played on Thursday night in the Checker Trade Trophy and on the Saturday in the league, so it's been a tough couple of games for him. Crawford's knackered ever since international duty. We've just got to give him the midweek off. And then Richards isn't quite fit either. Clark's not back to full fitness yet. List isn't fit enough to come in, so Stacey does retain his place. And a few of the others like Kenlock and Butcher need a little rest on the bench. So we've got a mix of first team and backup in the squad, just as circumstances allow. So it's Alex Bass in goal, Facey and McCabe are the fullbacks with Reece Williams alongside Davis in the middle. Young Richards and McComb are the central midfield partnership with Adam Lewis on the left, and then Moncur in central midfield making his debut with Stacey on the right behind Owen Jack up front. The likes of Broder and Darcy are on the bench, as well as Chapman, List, Kenlock, Butcher and Weir. So we've got plenty of changes if we need them, but I think it's going to be a containing job today. We'll change the tactics once we get into the match, but for now we just want to get things started. So a 4-5-1 for Spurs. It would be fair to say they're not quite as strong as they were in the other series against Barnsley yesterday. They've got Nabry and Edouard up front. That's a bit of a weird combination. Ben Pearson in the holding role. What's going on here? He's worth £30 million. That's ridiculous, that one. Let's just go and talk to the lads. We're more worried about ourselves today. We're going to tell them to pick up where they left off. They just won 2-0 with 10 men, so they can't be doing too badly. We're going to put Stacey back to right of midfield. We don't want to push up too high in this one. Moncur will stay in that attacking role, but on a support duty. Lewis and Stacey will as well. And McCabe and Facey are going to drop to defensive fullbacks, which is the role they prefer anyway. We're going to drop to a balanced mentality. This is a bit different to yesterday. We're 2 leagues below and have a significantly lower budget. We'd expect to lose heavily, so we're going to time waste, play for set pieces for Reece Williams' strength, be more disciplined. In transition, we're going to slow the pace down and regroup. Counter-pressing isn't going to work against Spurs. We just need a tight 2 banks of 4. We could hold the shape, but when we win possession, we still want to counter and try and do well. And then out of possession, we're going to drop our lines a little bit too. Fingers crossed it's just not a hammering. We need to keep the confidence up while bringing money into the club. We've looked good without Johnny Byrne, so I think we'll be fine, but you never know until we get into the match. It's his loss that he's missing out on this one. The same for Rowan McDonald. They've got an injured Frankie de Jong on their books. He would play normally. That shows just how strong a squad they've got, and they've probably rotated a bit more in this series than they did any other. Pearson with the ball for Spurs. They keep it in the middle. There's a few names there I can't pronounce, so apologies. It'll just be the midfield, the defence and the strike force at times. But with 5 minutes gone, we haven't seen a shot either way yet. McCabe with the long throw. Probably one of our best chances to cause chaos. He gets it again back to Richards. Moncur on the edge to Lewis, but his shot's blocked. And now it's Gnabry on the counter-attack, surging through the whole team. 3-on-3, Edouard into the box. Alex Bass makes a brilliant save, and the rebound's deflected behind for a corner. But a very worrying start on the counter, as we lost possession on the edge of their box, and were conceding a corner within 10 seconds. They've headed it over the bar, and it remains 0-0. It's a throw on the right for Spurs. Gedson with the ball into Pearson. Richards has nicked it high up the pitch and now Owen Jack. 25 yards out, goes for a screamer. Didn't have any support, so had no choice. But it whistled just over the bar and it remains goalless, despite us finally having a chance. Pearson's got the ball to Edouard. Pearson again on the left side of the box for Spurs. Out to Gedson on the other side. Into the centre of midfield. Bass has made a brilliant save and from the rebound. A triple save from Alex Bass. 2 to deny the right winger after 1 from the central midfielder on the edge, and what a wonderful triple save from the keeper. Williams heads the corner away and Davis flicks it on out for a throw on the right hand side. They're left as they're attacking. They've got another corner a quarter of the way into the match now. Edouard at the back post wins it, ahead of McComb. We're a little bit short of height in midfield, so a few of the smaller lads are marking now. But Bass makes a comfortable save and clears the ball long over the top. Owen Jack beats the defender too. He's in 1-on-1, but it's a brilliant last-ditch challenge by the left-back Emerson, and it's cleared away by Spurs. Now they're attacking in the middle of the pitch. The 3 men in there just keeping possession. Edouard on the edge with his shot blocked. He's fallen back to them again though. We're keeping our shape, but it does lead to a lot of pressure. We've only had 40% of the ball. Tottenham have had 10 shots to our 2, and unfortunately it is just a matter of time. Although we have had the only clear-cut chance with Owen Jack being caught up just in time. The ball's in from Tottenham from the corner. McCabe clears away for a throw, and we still hold strong, but we're seeing more attacking highlights for Spurs now. Emerson on the left-hand side. Davis hoofs it clear. Owen Jack will chase it down, but the 2 centre-halves have time. They're bringing it over halfway on the left-hand side. Emerson finds a central midfielder to Pearson. Now they keep it inside again. Just the 3 of them retaining it in a triangle. Finds Serge Gnabry. What a bending effort that is. And Alex Bass has to make a brilliant save to tip it round the post. He's into the 7s already for his rating, delivering on the big occasion. Davis heads the corner away, but only as far as Gnabry. Williams wins the header again for a second time, and we're going to miss Johnny Byrne as we have this aerial bombardment to deal with. It's out to the right to Gedson. They're just creating space everywhere. McComb gets there in the end, but only chips it down the line for a throw-in. Half an hour gone, it remains 0-0 somehow. McCabe with a long throw-in, tricks everyone, goes short to Moncur, and he's just hit it over the bar. It was certainly worth a go. It looks like we're going to be restricted to long shots in this one. 10 till the break, it's a Tottenham corner again. Into Edouard, down for Gnabry, hits the bar or Lewis or someone, but it doesn't go in, that's the key fact. The cross is deflected the second time, and it's out for a throw-in on the Tottenham right. They've got another corner, this time from the left. A rare in-swinger, and he's made all the difference as Diakabi heads it in at the near post. We've just not got enough of an aerial present, and we have to blame the likes of Byrne and McDonald for being suspended in this one. 5 minutes to the break, Spurs are 1-0 up, and they're absolutely dominating the game now. 14 shots to 4, Edouard's in again, but Bass makes the save, and we were going to shout at the lads, but we might as well wait till half-time now. Just stoppage time to go, and it remains 1-0. We've reached the break then, we've been outplayed as you'd expect, but we've defended really well and Alex Bass has had a brilliant game. We're going to tell the lads to dig in, see if they can get something out of the match, and Owen Jack will continue with the kickoff. McComb finds Davis, out to Facey the right back. Don't forget this is essentially most of our backup team, so we're almost at League 2 level for this one. Diakabi's got away with a foul on Jack there, and now it's Spurs with a free kick with a minute gone in the half. They get it to the edge of the box in midfield again. Edouard plays a 1-2, Bass makes another brilliant save. You can just rely on him to be brilliant in these matches. What a keeper he is, and he's becoming more popular with the Torquay fans every single game he plays. An hour gone, it's still just 1 in it, but we haven't looked like scoring all game. It's a free kick at the back for Spurs. Akanji switches it out to Gedson. He comes over halfway, just charges through the whole team. That is ridiculous. He beats 7 men and McComb then just trips him. Stupid foul after being outclassed. Why didn't he do that outside the box instead of waiting until that moment? He's going to get a yellow card and Spurs are going to go 2-0 up from the spot. We'll make some changes once that happens. One, to protect some of the first teamers, and secondly so we can rest some others. But Alex Bass has saved it again. What a wonderful man he is. And we've still got a chance with a quarter of the game to go. Let's go to the tactics screen. McComb's coming straight off with that yellow card. We'll bring Butcher on the first choice normally. We'll also take Stacey off for Elliot List. We need to protect him for the weekend. He was fairly tired to start with. And Owen Jack's had a poor game. Let's get a target man up there just to see if we can do something special with Broja. He can get on the end of a cross and he's actually a little bit more athletic as well. We're going to drop Butcher into that box-to-box role he prefers. And then what we're also going to do is push the 2 wingers up. Lewis and List prefer playing further up. And with the more defensive fullbacks in the team, I think we can afford to get away with that. We're just going to see how it works. We've got to start to push forward eventually. 20 minutes to go and we'll see if it makes a difference. It doesn't look to be as Pearson gets the ball from Emerson. Straight into the central midfielder in the box. Bass is beaten and he can't save everything. It's 2-0 and game over, and to be fair, we saw it coming. So often the smaller sides crumble towards the end as they run out of fitness, and it looks to be happening again, although Richards has the ball on the edge now for Davis. He finds Facey. Back to Davis again and now Richards. The youngster can't afford to lose it there and he finds Moncur. He's lost it, and now on the halfway line, our defensive back four's disappeared. Bass has made a brilliant save, but what sort of disciplined mentality is that? That is absolutely atrocious. The 2 centre-halves were up for the throw. The 2 fullbacks just decided to disappear. The holding midfield had gone as well, so I don't know what's going on there. The corner's into the back post and Williams clears. I'm a bit unhappy that some of the lads were seeing their name in lights rather than doing their job for the team. If we can keep this to 2 or 3, it looks a respectable result. Pearson gets the ball on the right to Diakabi, the first goal scorer who started this all off for Spurs. Akanji gets the ball into midfield again for Pearson. Pearson gets the ball up to the winger, into Parrott up front. Bass makes yet another brilliant save. They've had 16 shots on target, Spurs, and most of them have been saved by Bass. What a wonderful performance from him, but it still hasn't been enough as Davis heads away for another throw-in. We've gone to a positive mentality just for the last 3 minutes. Diakabi brings the ball away for Spurs to Edouard. They've got the ball in midfield again with so much time. There's no pressure on them at all. And Gedson can bring it forward. He's gone into midfielders. They've brought on a young youth prospect at right back. And now Edouard's charging in unopposed. Tries to go for the top corner, but it's just high and wide. Another one that's managed to run through the defence with absolutely no challenge at all. Davis has looked a bit out of his depth today. Obviously he wouldn't be playing if Byrne wasn't suspended. So again, we've got our club captain to blame for letting us down at the key moment. But that is the full-time whistle. Just a 2-0 defeat in the end, which is a really good outcome based on the way the game was played and the fact we're 2 divisions and significantly below Spurs in terms of budget and facilities. We don't have the resources to compete, but we put up a fight and the lads did the fans proud. They were all packing out the stadium and hopefully they got to see something they enjoyed. We've told the lads they put in a good effort. It's all about keeping confidence high for the weekend, where remarkably we play Barnsley, the side we're managing in the other series. So many bits of symmetry between the two. It's a little bit strange for me. We've never had this before. Tottenham coasted past us. We can't argue with that. We're out of the cup, but hopefully we made a little bit of money, at least on gate receipts if nothing else. We've gone up about 150,000 there, so it's reduced our loss for the month. But despite that result, there's plenty to be proud of at Torquay, and things are looking really good moving forward this season. I'm optimistic and I hope you are too. Let's look at the schedule for when we might next be back. I'm tempted to show Maidstone because they've been a side that have followed us up, but I'm not sure that we really need to do that at this stage. Maybe towards the end if they're right up there. Where are they at the moment? Down in lower mid-table. There's plenty of big games coming up and a really busy October. The schedule's likely to change heavily with the international break. We'll probably move both the Burton and the Charlton games as a result. So the fixtures are going to change order, so there's no point planning a specific game. But around a month's time, either the end of October or the start of November, we'll come back for another match with Torquay, where hopefully we'll be enjoying some good form and still won't be losing many games. But that will be all for this episode. If you did enjoy it, please put a thumbs up on the video. I really do appreciate your ongoing support with the series. Let me know in the comments what you think of the last couple of signings and the formation we're playing at the moment. Do you think we're going to be able to get promotion this year? I'm certainly feeling like we're we're more equipped than we were last year. We're not letting in as many goals, we're grinding out some late 1 and 2-0 wins, and I just feel a bit more like a title challenge inside this year. I could be proven wrong and be in a strop by the next episode, but hopefully that won't be the case. Subscribe to the channel for daily FM19 content from my 2 long-term stories, this one part of the furniture with Torquay United, as well as our other Journeyman series, The Head Coach, where we're currently with Barnsley, who are our next opponents in this save as well. There's also weekly content from my FIFA 19 lower league career with Crew Alexandra, but a massive thanks for watching this one as always, and we'll see you next time.